Go ahead, you're good.
Welcome to Council. We're happy to see all of you here. Tonight's meeting will be led by the state officers. We will provide information on SCDC, advocacy, running for state office, and many other things. If you miss any of the call tonight, we will post a recap article on Oregon DECA's website that will have everything that is talked about. Who's ready to go to SCDC in Portland this year? It is 2 months and 7 days away. All of the members who have attended district skills competitions have had a chance to practice, but I'm certain you will all be on stage. Make sure you remind your advisors to check Oregon DECA's website for registration details as we get closer. One step of registration includes choosing a competition. Make sure to come to SCDC prepared for the event that you are most passionate about. The event at the state conference is new this year. Drew and I will be hosting the lip sync battle. We've been practicing and are ready to blow your minds in Portland this February. Make sure each of your chapters signs up to compete. Practice is key in these sorts of things, so make sure you have a song picked out and rehearsed before SCDC.
So moving on to registration, we'll keep this really brief. If you go to the tinyurl, which is tinyurl.com/ORDECA registration, it will take you to the PDF file we have prepared for you. If you scroll to the second page, it gives you all the information you need on the key deadlines you guys have to adhere to. Essentially, everything is mostly due January 16th, so make sure you tell your advisor to get the registration in and make sure you get your written projects in by the 16th.
Akila, you're muted.
Thank you, Brian. So now we're going to go ahead and get into role-playing competition prep. So for those of you who are new to DECA, role-plays are the main form of competition in DECA, and they're composed of 3 parts. The first, the check-in, the second, which is the preparation, and the third, which is the delivery. So when you check in, make sure to arrive on DECA time, which is 15 minutes early, and you should be arriving to pretty much every aspect of DECA 15 minutes early on DECA time. So this includes your role plays and your written events. You should be dressed professionally and bring your name badge, a photo ID, and a pencil, and a 4-function calculator if your event allows for that. During the preparation time, remember to make note of the performance indicators and the 21st century skills, which are going to be really essential as you're going through your role play, so your judge knows what to evaluate you on and that you're actually hitting each of those evaluation points. Along with this, making props such as brochures or slideshows using the extra paper that you have is going to be really great to make sure that your role play is standing out. Additionally, make sure that you're reading the entire role play scenario because every single aspect is going to have details and you might miss something if you don't do this. The first contact that you should have with the judge should include a handshake and a greeting. After you meet the judge, give your presentation while using the visual aids that I mentioned before that you made during your prep time. Once you're done with your pitch, the judge will ask you a few questions that you should answer to the best of your abilities. These obviously will be pertaining to what you presented on and the role play as a whole. And when the meeting is over, the role play essentially, stand and thank your judge for their time and go ahead and leave the meeting room. So that's basically it as far as role plays. So now we're going to go ahead and get into testing a little bit. So testing makes up 1/3 of your composite score, making it a valuable component to ensuring that you raise that first place DECA glass. Composed of 100 multiple choice questions to test and evaluate knowledge from the 4 respective career clusters: marketing, business management and administration, hospitality and tourism, and finance. And this year we're actually going to be having a new set of events in the field of entrepreneurship. So that's something that's definitely exciting to look out for. So depending on your event, you will take a test structured around one of those career clusters. So as far as our top test taking tips, our top 5 are to avoid pattern paranoia. So you know that when you get A as the answer for the last 8 questions, you start to doubt your answers. That's pattern paranoia. Although it's tempting to say, no way, this is the right answer for all of them, it's definitely a possibility. So trust yourself and feel free to continue on with the test. Our second tip is to check all your answers as you go, because you most likely won't have the willpower to go ahead and double check all your answers at the very end. And a 100 multiple choice test is a very, very, very long test. So the test not only evaluates your ability to find the correct answer and the knowledge that you have on the content, but it also evaluates your stamina for tests and your test-taking ability. So by the time you finish your test, as I mentioned, you likely won't be able to check the questions. So to ensure that you have the most accurate test without feeling totally drained, check your answers as you finish them. So one strategy is to do 10 questions and then check those 10 questions and then so on throughout the test. Okay, so now on to our third tip. So first impressions are usually correct, and nervous reviewing can make binge changing bad. Just like how first impressions with people are important, your first impression for the answer is also important. Especially in a testing environment, you may feel extremely nervous and doubting all your answers. Trust your first answer unless you're definitely sure that it's wrong. Next, make sure that you anticipate an answer and then look for it. So similar to taking standardized tests, the most accurate way to answer multiple choice questions is coming up with your own answer before looking at the choices. This prevents you from being swayed by the answer choices and encourages you to do the thinking first based off the knowledge that you have. So if your answers line up correctly with one of the choices, chances are that is the correct answer. Now lastly, correct what you did wrong on the answer sheet. So all DECA tests come with a comprehensive answer sheet that answers each question in detail. So in addition to taking practice tests, it's equally important to review what you did wrong. So understanding your mistakes allows you to avoid making the same mistake twice. So this is something that's really great to do when you're also practicing with your role plays. And as far as practicing with role plays, we do have 2 tinyURL links that will be in the article that Trent mentioned earlier. And these links are tinyurl.com/DECA performance indicators and tinyurl.com/practice roleplays. And most importantly, your